Hey everybody, it's Dusti Martin with the Martin Group at Platinum Living Realty. Today we're bringing you your monthly market update for the towns of Cave Creek and Carefree. If you're wondering what your house would sell for, if you're thinking of buying in this area, these are the things you should know. Hit the subscribe button, buckle up, let's go. All right, our active listings are down 25.3% over this time last year. That means we have less homes to actually sell than we did last year, and a lot less. However, our sold listings are up 12% over this time last year. And so with that said, that's leaving our median price per square foot. In contrast to some areas around the valley, we're actually down a smidge, 3.4% over this time last year, currently sitting at $338.61 at median price per square foot in Cave Creek and Carefree combined. However, our months of supply is down 33.3%. So when active listings come down, but the number of sales rise, that's going to put pressure on our months of supply in our inventory. We're currently sitting at only 2.5 months worth of inventory here in Cave Creek and Carefree. And when you compare that to last year when we were at 3.8 months worth of inventory. So yes, last year it was still a seller's market, but it was a much slower seller's market. This year, things are stabilizing. People are starting to realize that the higher interest rates are here to stay. And to be honest, they're kind of starting to realize that the feds had kind of poisoned the well with artificially low interest rates for so long that people got used to it. They thought it was normal. And unfortunately, life goes on. People still get married, people still move, people still get divorced, and babies are still born and people die every day. With that said, people's needs continually change. And when you didn't build enough homes to house millennials who are no longer living with mom and now have children of their own, something's got to be done and it's going to put pressure somewhere. So until we have enough actual houses for everybody, we're going to continue to see those problems. Now, you might be saying, oh, but the median price per square foot is down 3.4%. Well, remember, traditionally, contractions in the market are paired with an actually vibrant economy. Usually, for lack of a better term, usually in a recession, housing prices go up with the exception of two places. And so when we've got a national unemployment rate of only about 3.5%, that's almost statistically zero for a nation with over 350 million people. So when you think about it in terms of what is like a normal economic level of norm, like what's the historical norm overall, not just the last couple years, 3 or 4% is really not much, especially when you compare it to the almost 200% jump we've seen in the last 5 years. So did we take a little bit of a breather for a year? Yeah. The funny thing is now with inventory beginning to suppress yet again and people starting to get used to this new normal with interest rates in the sevens, people are starting to say, you know what, I got to move anyway. I can't live here any longer. Or me and my spouse just can't be under the same roof anymore. And we need the equity to go our separate ways. So regardless of the scenario, life goes on. People still need houses. And until there's enough houses for those people, houses will continue on average to go up. Now, not all of the areas around Arizona are even seeing these drops. Some of them, Scottsdale went up 2%. And that would be normal appreciation if you didn't count the last 3 to 5 years. So keep that in mind. We've been on this long, steep climb for a long time. To come down like a couple percentage points is nothing. And it's probably the breather that everybody needs. Okay. So just take it with a grain of salt. Our median days on market, though, is down 17%. So that means that homes are selling faster than they did last year. So there are less homes to sell, more homes are selling, and now they are selling in a faster time frame. Our current median days on market is only 41 days. That's barely long enough to do a transaction. So when you look at it like that, that's, 30 days is about the average contract term here in Arizona. So 11 days past that, if marketed appropriately and depending on your price point, you really should be, selling your home rather quickly. All right. So If this is where you want to take a break here before we jump into the price points. Price point breakdowns are really important if you're trying to buy or sell. If you're trying to buy, you need to know what your competition is, but if you're trying to sell, you need to know what to expect and not give away the goods, all right? So we're going to look at our $0 to $100,000 price range and our $100,000 to $200,000 price range. There is no data, there is no inventory, there is nothing to calculate. So I couldn't tell you if that's a buyer's or seller's market. I have a feeling if something in those price ranges popped on the market, it'd sell in a heartbeat, simply because this is an incredibly hard area to get into these days, especially at that price point. It has been years since I have seen regular inventory in these price points here in Cave Creek and Carefree, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is becoming a very high-end area. So this area that I lovingly refer to as a couple tiny towns playing cowboys and billionaires, the cowboys are making a whole lot of money on their land right now. Okay, so then we look at the $200,000 to $300,000 price range. No homes came on the market in that price range, and the only one that was there sold, leaving us with 0 months of supply. So it's as white hot of a seller's market as you can possibly get. You'll probably see multiple offers, bidding wars. If you have something at that price point that you are looking to sell, you are in a great setup to really maximize your sales price. On the other hand, if you're buying in that price point, you're probably going to have a feeding frenzy on your hands and you're going to have to compete with that. So keep that in mind. Then we drop down to the $300,000 to $500,000 price range. Also slim pickings there as well. There was only 4 homes in that price point and only 2 of them sold. So that leaves us with an even 2 months worth of inventory. Still a very strong seller's market. Then we look at the $500,000 to $700,000 price range, which has become kind of our entry level here in Cave Creek and Carefree. And we're at 0.88 months of supply, 0.88, meaning less than 1 month worth of inventory, just over 3 weeks. And when you put it into that perspective, you're probably going to see a lot of bidding wars, people waiving inspections or appraisals or both. You're going to see multiple offers, things like that. So if you're shopping in that price point, try to be level-headed. Chances are if your home the home that you're thinking of offering on has been on the market less than a month in that price point, you don't know if it's priced appropriately, and I would not lowball. If it's been on the market about 3 months and it hasn't moved, it's overpriced. So then we get down to the $700,000 to $1 million. This is kind of like the standard price point in Cave Creek and Carefree now. And we're at 2 3/4 month of a supply. You're going to see 1 or 2 solid offers. They're probably going to be 98 or 99% of list price. Both buyer and seller will have to meet in the middle, but you will see gentle upward pressure on the prices as we go along. Then we're going to drop down to the $1 to $3 million mark. In a lot of markets, this used to be the luxury market, and unfortunately, a lot of the homes in the $1 to $3 million mark are luxury homes, but a lot of them also are not. They just have land attached. So you're going to see a lot of very dated, older homes, things that are in rough shape, but if it's got a great location and a good chunk of property attached to it, you're going to be paying a pretty price. But at the same time, it's also still a seller's market. You are at 3.41 months of supply, just under 4 months worth of inventory. That said, it should take about 3 to 4 months to sell your home. You should see 1 solid offer. They probably aren't going to give you everything and throw the baby out with the bathwater. You're going to have to negotiate and meet in the middle, but you will still see gentle upward pressure on home prices overall if you are priced appropriately. And then when we look at the $3 million price range and over, this one in the summer is usually a grab bag. It's usually a buyer's market. However, we don't have anything to calculate this year. And if we compare it to last year, it's identical. There are 13 homes on the market this year in this price range over 3 million, and there were 13 homes on the market last year. The difference is none of them sold, not this year, not last year. So therefore, there's nothing really to calculate. But my guess would be that it truly is a buyer's market over $3 million in Cave Creek and Carefree right now, simply because usually historically in the summer, Cave Creek and Carefree kind of shut down real estate wise, at least for this super high end luxury market. A lot of the sellers are out of town and they don't want to be selling their home when people are out of town, but they also realize that their target audience, their primary buyer, is also likely out of town. They're likely a seasonal resident, or they're looking to buy a second, third, or fourth home in the area. And why be in Arizona when it's 115 degrees outside when you can be on a beach somewhere else? So with that said, if you're thinking of selling that price point, you need to be very competitive with your pricing strategy, with your marketing. It needs to be dialed in, and you need to be making sure that you're doing a good job of competing with the other homes on the market. Okay. If you're wondering what your home would sell for in today's market, or if you're thinking of buying a home in Cave Creek or Carefree, give me a call at 480-717-9405 or visit my website at dustimartinrealtor.com.